Nature and characteristics of socio-emotional disorder. Emotional and behavioral disorder is an umbrella term under which several distinct diagnoses, such as anxiety disorder, manic depressive disorder, oppositional defiant disorder, and more. These disorders are also termed emotional disturbance and emotional challenge. According to the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, children with emotional and behavioral disorders exhibit one or more of these 5 characteristics. 1. An inability to learn that cannot be explained by intellectual, sensory, or health factors. 2. An inability to build or maintain satisfactory interpersonal relationships with peers and teachers. 3. Inappropriate types of behavior or feelings under normal circumstances. 4. A general pervasive mood of unhappiness or depression. 5. A tendency to develop physical symptoms or fears associated with personal or school problems. Under the umbrella term of emotional and behavioral disorders, there are 2 categories. 1. Psychiatric disorders. This category encompasses a wide range of conditions. Psychiatric disorders are defined as mental, behavioral, or perceptual patterns or anomalies which impair daily functioning and cause distress. Some of the most common examples of these diagnoses include 1. Anxiety disorder, 2. Bipolar disorder, 3. Eating disorder, 4. Obsessive-compulsive disorder, 5. Psychotic disorder. 2. Behavioral disabilities. Children with behavioral disabilities engage in conduct which is disruptive to classroom functioning or harmful to themselves and others. To be diagnosed as a behavioral disability, the behaviors must not be attributable to the aforementioned psychiatric disorders. 2 categories of behavioral disabilities. Oppositional defiant disorder is characterized by extreme non-compliance, negativity, and an unwillingness to cooperate or follow directions. Children with this condition are not violent or aggressive, they simply refuse to cooperate with adults or peers. Conduct disorder. This is much more severe. This disorder is characterized by aggression, violence, and harm inflicted on self and others. Students with conduct disorder typically need to be taught in special education classrooms until the behavior has improved enough to allow contact with the general.
Social emotional development consists of 3 main areas of children's self-regulation: acting, behaving in socially appropriate ways and ways that foster learning; feeling, understanding others' emotions and regulation of one's own emotions; thinking, regulating attention and thoughts. What is socio-emotional? The concept of socio-emotional aspects refers to a person initiating, cultivating, and responding to others, to form relationships with other people in their lives such as parents, relatives, and friends. Emotional disorders, i.e., depressive and anxiety disorders, are a set of chronic and often recurrent psychiatric disorders that are associated with significant impairment in quality of life, productivity, and interpersonal functioning.
Causes of socio-emotional disorder. Biological causes originate within the child or teen. The brain is often the root source of the development of your BD. Sometimes there's a chemical imbalance. Other times, brain development is affected. Sometimes, too, brain injury leads to problems in the emotional center of the brain. Developmental causes. Every stage of life has tasks that must be completed successfully for mental health and life satisfaction. When a child's development is disrupted and problematic, there can be negative consequences for mental health and cognitive growth. Home life significant. Chronic stress in the home, lack of structure, authoritarian parenting style with rigid, excessive rules and punishments, permissive parenting with few if any expectations, limits, or establishment of acceptable behaviors, inconsistent expectations and discipline, disinterested, distant parents, abuse, violence, and general dysfunction in the home, more negative than positive interactions in the home, learned behavior, high levels of negativity and pessimism modeled in the home, associating punishment for behavior problems with receiving more attention, realizing that acting out is the only way to receive a response from parents or teachers.
Diagnosis and treatment options. Emotional disorders are typically treated with a combination of medications and psychosocial or STEAM, including cognitive behavioral therapy, family psychoeducation, social skills training, interpersonal psychotherapy, or relaxation training. A variety of psychotropic drugs have proven to be very helpful in helping adults manage a number of psychiatric disorders. but few of these drugs have been tested for safety and effectiveness in preschool children. Depending on your child's diagnosis, behavioral, family, and school-based therapy programs should be considered first and given ample time to work before the use of medications. Your child's specific diagnosis is critical to determining the best treatment plan.
Strategies in the classroom.
1. Choice-making opportunities. Offer the student up to 3 options and ask them to choose only one. Let them know how much time they have to make a decision and wait for their response. Finally, reinforce the option they chose so that they're fully aware of the pros and cons of their choice. 2. Previewing. Activate knowledge from the previous lesson by asking students reflective questions, then set intentions for your current lesson. 3. Mnemonic instructionist. This memory-enhancing tool to teach students how to link new information to prior knowledge so that they easily retain specific information. 4. Adjust task difficulty. Adjust the difficulty of math problems to suit your learner's capabilities. 5. Personalized system of instruction. Come up with specific objectives with your students. 6. Interval duration during reading sessions. Suggest the amount of time between a student reading a word and the next word's presentation. For example, about 5 seconds. 7. Life space interviewing. This crisis intervention technique entails discussing the student's negative behavior when the problem occurs. 8. Story mapping. Create a visual depiction of the setting, order of significant events, and character actions in a story before reading.
An interview with a student whose friend suffers from anxiety. What is the nature of people with socio-emotional disorder?
Ang mga taong may ganitong kondisyon ay madalas na pag-isa, hindi nakipaghihilo at kung minsan ay aggressive. Ayaw nila naman aming tao dahil nagdadala ito ng parik-atake.
What are the challenges faced by people with this condition?
Kagaya ng kaibigan ko na may depression, nahihirapan siyang makipaghilo, pili lang yung mga taong kinakausap at sinasamahan niya, ayaw niya na maingay.
What are her or his experiences in school?
Hindi na siya makapag-focus sa pag-aaral, hindi na din siya madalas makipag-participate na naging dahilan ng mababang grades.
What is your message for people experiencing this condition?
At mag-consult kayo sa inyong doktor at saka dapat lagi kasama yung mga magulang yung kaibigan nyo para kahit paano makakuha kayo ng mga positive na thinking na kailangan nyong gawin para hindi mas simula yung mga paano yung problema mo sa buhay or sa mental na yung kinakaharap.
Thank you for watching.